page 55. Halacha 51, we're continuing the laws of Shofar. If one who already fulfilled the obligation of listening to the Shofar is blowing for the Shofar for somebody who did not hear the Shofar yet, and the one hearing the Shofar, what should he do? He should recite the bracha. However, if the one hearing the Shofar doesn't know how to say the bracha, so the person blowing the Shofar can say the bracha for them. Okay, 52. Preferably, one should only blow the Shofar for another person after he himself has already prayed and heard the tikiyot. However, if it's not possible, one should explicitly state that he does not want to fulfill his obligation to catch shofar with his blowing. So let's say he has to blow shofar for somebody who's not going to come to shul, and he's going to blow for him before he himself goes to shul. That's not ideal, but technically it's possible. 53. One who is not able to pray with a minyan and will be hearing the shofar without a minyan should stand during the blasts. So usually in shul, we hear the first 30 blasts, we sit after the blessing, and we hear the blessing, you hear the tikiyot sitting. But a person who's hearing it out of shul, not in the context of shul, he should be standing when he hears the shofar. 54. When blowing shofar for someone who is not able to go to shul, one does not need to blow more than 30 tikiyot. So you do tashat, tarat, tashat, tarat, tashat 3 times each, and it comes out to 30. While in shul, we're doing 100. 55. The shofar may be blown through the entire day, beginning from netz until shkia, till sunset. If one heard the shofar before netz but after dawn, technically he fulfilled the mitzvah. One who did not hear shofar could even hear it during ben hashmashot, during twilight. 57. The shofar may not be blown on Rosh Hashanah that fell on Shabbat. This year, I think Rosh Hashanah is not on Shabbat, but there were years, as of recent, that we had shofar, we had Rosh Hashanah on Shabbat, and we didn't blow shofar that day. 58. Important halacha: one should refrain from bringing your children to the shul during the shofar blasts, because they're going to likely cause disturbance. However, if the child is old enough to understand the mitzvah shofar, and he'll be quiet, he won't cause a disturbance, it's a mitzvah. It's actually a mitzvah to bring him to the shofar. 59. Since women are not obligated in the mitzvah of shofar, of hearing shofar, a woman may not recite the brachor on the shofar, nor may a man recite it for her also. So let's say, I always blow every year for people on my block who didn't hear shofar. So what happens? Sometimes they're ladies, and if it's only ladies, so they're over there, I'm going to blow shofar without a bracha. Why? Because they're not obligated, so you can't make a bracha on a mitzvah you're not obligated in. Ashkenaz is going to make a bracha, but Sfaradim, we do not. Okay. 60. If a Sephardi is blowing shofar for Ashkenazi woman, the woman should say the bracha, and the Sephardi may not answer amen, because there's a safek brachot lakel. Whenever you have matters of doubt in regards to the laws of blessings, we rule leniently to not say the bracha. So too, when it comes to amen, we say safek amen lakel. If their opinion is to say the blessing, our opinion is not to say the blessing. So you can't say amen to that blessing also, because the amen is also the batalah, just like the bracha is the batalah according to us. So therefore, she should make the bracha and you don't answer amen. 61. If a woman has the custom to hear shofar every year and cannot hear the shofar 1 year, she does not have to perform hatarat nedarim. Let's say 3 years in a row, she went to hear shofar. So 1 year she can't, because now she has a little baby. So she has to stay home. So she doesn't have to do hatarat nedarim to stay home. Unforeseen circumstance came, and that's why she has to stay home. But next year she plans to going. But if she wants to stop completely from going every year, there she has to do hatarat nedarim, unless she says bli neder when she hears the shofar the first 3 times. If she said bli neder, so then it's never a neder. 62. Strictly speaking, a woman may blow the shofar for another woman. It's better for a man to blow the shofar for a woman. 63. One who already fulfilled the obligation to hear shofar may blow it again for a woman. Preferably, however, a woman should try to make an effort to hear the shofar being blown in the synagogue by the Baal Tokeya. Okay. Hearing or blowing the shofar if you have hearing aids. Even if one is wearing hearing aids in both ears, he has fulfilled the obligation of hearing the shofar while wearing them during the shofar blowing. Such a person may even blow the shofar for others. However, if one can hear with difficulty without the hearing aids, he should preferably remove them before hearing or blowing the shofar.
If a person's deaf, they have no obligation?
If a person's deaf, yeah, because they can't hear the shofar. But today we have this, some people even have cochlear implants, right? So that even if they were deaf, technically, they could start hearing to nowadays, right? Okay. 65. During Musaf, 3 brachot are added to the Amidah, which comprise the 3 added sections. They're known as Malchuyot, Zichronot, and Shofarot. These are the 3 categories of blessings we add in the Rosh Hashanah Amidah. During each of these sections, it's customary to blow the shofar, and so we're going to have shofar before Amidah of Musaf. We're going to have shofar during the silent Amidah Musaf, and we're going to have shofar again during the repetition of the Musaf. The blasts in Musaf shall be blown and heard while standing. If one is sitting or unable to stand, he has nevertheless fulfilled his obligation. A lot of times what happens is people are praying, and they're not up to where the shofar blast is up to, right? So the Chazan is ahead of them. So if one's in the middle of praying Musaf and realizes that the Chazan will be reaching a point in Amidah where the shofar will be blown, he should stop where he is and just listen to the shofar before continuing. Similarly, if a person is ahead of the Chazan, he should pause at the points where the shofar is supposed to be blown and wait for the Chazan. 68. One who finished Musaf and still has some time before Chazarat HaShatz, he's allowed to look into a book and read, think about Torah, provided that he does not verbalize anything he's reading or thinking. One who's praying alone should hear the tkiyot before praying Musaf. Furthermore, he should not listen to the tkiyot while he's praying Musaf. Rather, he should hear the tkiyot and then pray Musaf on his own. 70. If Rosh Hashanah is on Shabbat and one forgot to say the words Musaf Yom HaZikaron Hazeh and only realized after completing the bracha, he is not obligated to repeat the bracha and he's fulfilled the obligation. Women are allowed to pray Musaf on Rosh Hashanah. Some opinions say she's actually obligated to pray Musaf on Rosh Hashanah. On Musaf on Shabbat, they're not obligated, but Rosh Hashanah, they should try to pray Musaf. One should not make any interruptions between the bracha and the shofar till the end of the kiyot of Musaf. Having kavanah, when he says, Hu Elokeinu ve'oden echer, emet makenu v'ezrato, during Aleinu Shabeach, is a sgula, that all one's prayers that is said in the past year will be answered. You have to have kavanah in that part of Aleinu. Baruch Me'olam.